Hi, I'm Jackie Partridge. I'm an artist as well as a teacher. I've been helping grade 12 students with their art portfolios for university and college art program application for a number of years, and I want to help you prepare your art portfolio for school applications, or if you're a teacher like me, to help your students better prepare themselves for university and college art programs. So the first tip of 7 is to make sure that you're reading the requirements of the art program or school that you're applying for. Every school, every art program has very specific requirements. They're asking for a certain number of photos of artwork, a certain size of photos. Some programs require you to write an essay. Some programs want you to create art that's specific to a certain theme or answer certain questions, use a certain font, things like that. So it's important to really read through the instructions carefully, print the instructions off, highlight them or scratch them out once you've completed each of the steps, and make sure you're just very thorough with it. So tip number 2 is to show your creative process. Creative process is very important to any art program that you're interested in applying to, whether it's an architecture program, drawing, visual arts, even ceramics. It's important to show your creative thinking. You can do that through titling your work, through explaining why you chose certain materials or a certain theme and made different artistic decisions. So if they're ever asking for you to write about a piece or write about your process, this is a great way where you can show your creative and your critical thinking. You might be able to show different rough works, different sketches, different mock-ups. It's a good thing to even bring your sketchbook along with your portfolio to your interview if you have an in-person interview, and that way you can really show your progress. But again, you want to make sure that you're reading the requirements carefully so that you're submitting the right things in your application. Tip number 3 is to show your personality. By choosing the pieces in your portfolio, you can share a little bit about yourself. You can choose what you would like to submit, the types of subject matter you'd like to create art about, and this can really let the people who are deciding whether you're coming into that program or not to see if you're a good fit. So you can choose to represent and make art speaking about different topics that are important to you. If you really care about the environment, then you can create a piece of art that speaks to that. This helps the jurors get to know you. It also helps you to share your artist's voice and communicate your ideas. Tip number 4 is to show variety. It's good to create a large body of work so that you have more pieces that you can choose from and show in your art portfolio. Usually there's some kind of limit. It might be 10, it might be 5, it might be 12, but if you have a lot of pieces that you can choose from, that way you're choosing the best work. So you want to choose variety. If you are applying to a drawing program, you could have some drawings that are charcoal or black or white. You could have some drawings that are more colorful, some drawings that are watercolor, some drawings that are digital. So you can use different mediums and show your versatility, show that you are willing to experiment and to keep growing. If you only show one thing, then that's all that they see, that's all they think that you do, that's all they think that you want to do. You want to be able to show variety and show your range, so you can produce something that's really small and detailed, something that's maybe a bit larger, something that's three-dimensional. Again, make sure you read the requirements because sometimes they're asking for very specific things. So reading the requirements is always step number 1. Number 5 is to show specific program techniques. For example, if you're applying to an architecture school, then you want to consider having some drawings of buildings, or maybe showing some kind of a model or a sculpture where they can see how you think about space and size and your precision, your detail, things like that. So try to think about the program that you're applying to and what pieces make sense for that. If you're applying to a ceramic specific program, then you want to have some sculptures and some pieces out of clay. It doesn't necessarily need to all be out of clay, but at least some pieces to show that you have some skill level, some expertise, and you have some kind of starting point that you know what you're doing. Tip number 6 is to remember that details are important. Applying for an art school or art program can be very competitive. Jurors are looking through hundreds or thousands of applications. You want yours to stand out. So you need to make sure that you're really conscious of the details. Come up with a good, clever title. Avoid titles like untitled. Try to think of something that's original or poetic, clever, or creative. Try to have your photos that are properly edited with great lighting. Use a great camera or a tripod so that your photos aren't blurry or shaky. And if you have the ability to get some help with editing them professionally or using a program like Photoshop, then those are all great tools and resources to use. Just remember that all these details are extremely important and they're going to make your art portfolio really stand out from the crowd. Tip number 7 is to show your critical and creative thinking as well as your writing and research skills. Writing and research are a big part of art, and even though we might not think about that, they are important. So if ever there's a chance for you to write something in your application, whether it's a title, a description about the work, maybe an essay question, maybe you have to write an artist statement, a bio, introduce yourself, or even if you have an interview and you're answering questions, you want to be able to show that you can communicate clearly, that you have researched or thought about different ideas that you're representing, that you're an ongoing learner, that you're aware of what's happening in the art world, or that you're interested in that and want to learn. So with any type of application, even if it's a resume or cover letter, it's important to edit your writing, to plan your writing, structure it, have someone else read it over, have a peer, a teacher, a parent read over your writing to make sure that you don't have mistakes, because having even just some grammar mistakes, that could make you stand out in a bad way, and you don't want that. It's great to really think about your art that you're choosing for your portfolio and make sure that it's something that you really love and you care about, and that's going to come across in your writing when you're explaining it, either through written form or orally through an interview or something like that. So those are my 7 tips to help you with your art portfolio for college or university applications. If you need more help with this, feel free to check out the link below in the description of this video. I'd be happy to set up a Zoom call with you or work with you further. So if you'd like more information, more help, you'd like me to review your art portfolio, you can check out that link below in the description of this video. Thanks for watching and good luck with your applications.